Brother Moloney from the Moloney Method. Today we're going to talk about one of the main subjects you've been hearing about for decade after decade, the obesity crisis. What we're going to talk about is what they don't tell you, and it's the main reason why we have an obesity crisis. We come from, and we are the same person that first stood up millions of years ago. We are that same person. We are hardwired to overeat. We are hardwired to overeat because when we first stood up, we had to run, make our catch, and eat. We never knew when we were going to eat again. We gouged because we did not have a grocery store on every corner. Now that is built into us, and that will never change. A lot of people think we're different than the people a couple 100 million years ago. We are not different. We have the same equipment. The arms, the legs, the head, everything is the same. We ate and gouged so that we could survive. Our race would have been extinct if we were not hardwired to overeat. Now, let's fast forward a couple 100 million years. Let's fast forward to today, okay? We agree, being overweight has some negative health effects on each individual. So we try and lose weight. Now we are not only fighting that we are hardwired to overeat, we are also fighting the hormones that have been put into us to protect us not to starve. So you have two bookends. You have the overeating, which we are hardwired, and then we have the hormones that will react when we don't eat our normal amount of calories. Those hormones, the big one is leptin, okay? So what happens is when you start eating less, the body does not say, oh, they're on a diet. The body says, I'm going to die. I need to protect this body. That is the reaction of the body. The body has no thing about, oh, he or she's on a diet. No. So the body reacts by changing your hormone level, okay? You have two big hormones that affect this thing. You have the leptin, which decreases the appetite, and you got the ghrelin, which makes you eat like an animal. Now, again, the problem with society is we don't really have the facts on those two extremes. So we have what I call hundreds of thousands of professional dieters that have totally messed up their hormones. To give you an example, people are not aware, leptin is the eat less hormone. And the more fat on you, the more leptin you have. So you would think, okay, I would have more control the fatter I am not to eat more. But that's not the truth. What happens is, on professional dieting, you become leptin insensitive, okay? You don't react to the leptin, okay? So you hit a point where that hormone is no longer working for you, it is working against you. The ghrelin is the hormone that tells you you're hungry. After you eat, you're not hungry. Again, when you're a professional dieter, You've taken all of these hormones and you have manipulated them on such a regular basis. They do not function the way they're supposed to function anymore. So, how does a person actually lose weight when they're obese? Because it's better for them, their health. It's much better for them. With those two bookends in mind. And remember, a lot of people who can't lose weight think it's a question of their will. And people need to understand their will has nothing to do with it. You are hardwired. The race would have been extinct if we were not hardwired to overeat, because we never knew when we were going to eat again. But it's a different world now. But those hormones, everything is the same, except it's a couple 100 million years later. Those hormones are still there. And when you start eating less, the body says there's a threat. I've got to adapt to a threat, okay? So what a person has to do, number one, is they have to accept the fact that long is better. Long is better. No short-term solutions. You have to be committed to lose weight slowly and correctly. You have to be committed to strength training, because the strength training, while you're losing weight, while you're landing up in that perfect zone of less calories, but not that much less. Because if you go less, but not that much less, the starvation mode does not kick in. The body does not say there's a threat here. No, the body says, oh, they ate a little bit less today. You have to strength train. You gotta stop counting calories. Stop counting calories. And you gotta flip what you eat to make it protein dominant. Protein dominant, second dominant is fat. Okay? You gotta lessen your carbohydrates down to about 25% from the normal 50%. But every fifth day, you gotta carbo load. Because if you don't do that fifth day, what happens is it kicks in again, and the body says there's a threat. I need energy, okay? If you carbo load every fifth day, it will allow you to have protein and fat and stay on a steady course for those other 4 days. So you have to accept, I'm going to lose 1 pound to 2 pounds a month, but it will be permanent. You see, you have to look at it and you have to say, do I want a short-term solution? And the weight comes right back, and then I'm back on it again, and I'm messing with those hormones on a steady basis. You will not win the war against leptin and ghrelin. You will not win the war, because those things were built in at a necessity for the human race to survive. So you put in your mind, it's like doing things properly. You want to do it once properly. You can take 50 sticks of dynamite and tap them gently, and none of the sticks will go off. But if you take one stick of dynamite and you hit it hard and do it right, the job is done. You have accomplished your mission, and it's a permanent mission because you've done it over time. All the hormones have adjusted as you've gone through, and you've developed a completely new lifestyle along the way so that it will carry you through a lifetime. So remember, Obesity and weight loss, they're difficult things. Overeating and gouging has been built into you as a survival mechanism. The same way, losing weight, the hormones react as a threat to them and their survival. So you have two things that work against you that literally have nothing to do with your willpower. But if you're smart and you have the information like the Moloney Method gives you right here, you can outsmart those two bookends and you can get a permanent solution that will carry you through your life. So, it's MoloneyMethod@gmail.com. That's Moloney with an O. We'd like a thumbs up. We need subscribers. And we'll see you at our next show Monday. Thank you very much.